Creepypastas are like the modern-day campfire story. Instead of gathering around a fire and passing down scary tales, we gather online and share them through forums, YouTube videos, or screenshots of eerie text posts. But what's strange is just how much these stories can get under our skin. They're just text on a screen, right? Yet, people report losing sleep, double-checking their doors at night, and even seeing figures in the dark corners of their rooms after reading one. So what makes creepypastas so scary? Why do they stick with us long after we've closed the browser? Let's break it down. The first thing that makes creepypastas terrifying is their ability to masquerade as real experiences. A lot of them are written in the first person, like someone's journal entry or a confession on a forum. You're not reading a story. You're reading something that feels like a real account. Think about the difference between "Once upon a time, there was a monster that lived in the woods," or "Last night while walking home, I swear I saw something moving between the trees, and I don't think it was human." That second one feels personal, immediate, believable. You don't have to suspend disbelief because it's written like it could happen to anyone, including you. That "what if this is real" thought is the seed that makes creepypastas so unsettling. Another huge factor is where these stories live. You don't find them in books with spooky covers. You don't need to go to the movie theater. They're right there on the platforms you already use every day. Reddit threads, old forums, YouTube videos, even Twitter posts. It's like horror sneaks into your comfort zone. Instead of going out of your way to be scared, the story finds you in the same space where you normally scroll memes or watch funny videos. That invasion of the everyday makes creepypastas scarier than traditional horror. Because the next time you're on that site, you might wonder, is what I'm reading a joke or someone's actual experience? The best creepypastas are simple because they don't need to invent new fears. They prey on ones we already have. Fear of the dark. Fear of being watched. Fear of losing control. Fear of something being off in a safe place. Slender Man plays on our primal terror of being stalked by something tall, faceless, and impossible to escape. The Russian sleep experiment taps into medical horror and the fragility of our own minds. Smile Dog uses the cursed image concept, something you can't unsee, that sticks with you forever. These aren't exotic fears. They're everyday anxieties we all carry, which makes them hit even harder. They feel like warnings. This is something a lot of people overlook. Creepypastas often read like cautionary tales. Don't download random files. Don't buy mysterious old games. Don't answer if someone calls your name in the dark. Don't take a ride from strangers. They don't just entertain, they give you rules to follow. And the scariest part is that even if you don't fully believe them, the rule lingers in your head. You might laugh at Ben drowned in the daylight, but the next time you find an old cartridge at a garage sale, you'll hesitate. That tiny hesitation is proof the story already lives in your mind. Traditional horror movies usually have some kind of ending. The monster is defeated, the survivors escape, or at least you get answers about what happened. Creepypastas, on the other hand, often end with nothing. They just cut off. The narrator disappears. The last post is uploaded in a panic. A final sentence trails off mid-thought. That lack of closure is one of the most effective horror tools because it forces you to finish the story in your head. And usually, your brain comes up with something even worse than what was written. The human mind hates unanswered questions, which is exactly why creepypastas leave them dangling. Another thing that makes them so scary is how quickly they grow. Once a good creepypasta takes off, it doesn't just stay as text on a forum. It spreads through YouTube videos, TikToks, fan art, fake news articles, ARGs, or alternate reality games until it becomes a full-blown myth. Slender Man is the perfect example. He started as a photoshopped image on a forum, but within months, he had entire communities making sightings, videos, and stories. Before long, people swore they had actually seen him. That viral nature gives creepypastas power. They don't just exist online. They bleed into the real world through word of mouth, rumors, and even mainstream media coverage. One of the cleverest tricks creepypastas use is placing horror inside everyday experiences. Instead of haunted castles or faraway monsters, the horror appears in things we recognize and trust. A video game you played as a kid. A kid's TV show you vaguely remember. A cute dog photo that turns disturbing. A phone call at night. When something ordinary is corrupted, it forces you to question your own reality. If a harmless video game cartridge can contain a ghost, then anything around you could hide something sinister. That feeling that your safe spaces aren't safe anymore is where the real fear comes. Creepypastas don't just exist as single stories. They live inside entire communities. Fans add to them, expand them, create spin-offs. Someone might write about encountering Slender Man, while someone else creates fake photos. Before long, you're not reading one creepypasta, you're lost in an entire mythology. This communal building makes them feel more real. If thousands of people are talking about the same monster, sharing proof, and writing stories from different perspectives, your brain starts to treat it less like fiction and more like folklore. It's not just one person telling a story, it's thousands of voices weaving a shared nightmare. Think about when people usually read creepypastas. It's late at night, maybe you can't sleep, you're scrolling through your phone in a dark room. That environment does half the work for the story. You're already tired, the house is quiet, and every little creak makes you jump. Creepypastas are designed to thrive in that setting. They're short enough to read in one sitting, unsettling enough to keep you awake, and vague enough that your imagination does most of the work. By the time you close your phone, you're looking at the shadows in your room a little differently, and that's exactly the point. Finally, the scariest thing about creepypastas is that they blur the line between reality and fiction. Unlike ghost stories or horror movies, which are clearly labeled as entertainment, creepypastas sit in that uncertain space. Some are clearly fake, but others, well, they're written just convincingly enough to make you wonder. And once you start wondering, the fear doesn't go away. Because if even one of them is real, then suddenly the world feels a lot less safe. So what makes creepypastas so scary? It's not just the monsters or the gore. It's their ability to feel real. It's how they sneak into your everyday life, prey on fears you already have, spread like wildfire, and then refuse to give you closure. They're not just stories you read once and forget. They're stories that take root in your mind and linger in the dark corners of your imagination. And maybe that's the real reason they work so well. Because deep down, even when you know they're fake, you can't shake the feeling that maybe, just maybe, one of them is. If you like this deep dive, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more breakdowns of internet horror, urban legends, and true paranormal stories. And tell me in the comments, what's the one creepypasta that scared you the most?